The views and opinions expressed on this station do not reflect the owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Thursday, the 18th day of February 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman, along with Carlos Zul. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. If you're watching online, share the link. If you're on Facebook, start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on Channel 82, call someone and let them know that we are on. Just get the conversation out there to your network, and don't forget to like and engage with us. Another good one is the talented Barbara Paynter is joining us to discuss fashion and her brands. The Daily Play is a name that plays, so it's Carla's favorite subject. Well, it's the subject Carla likes to blame her geography teacher for some reason. So
I apologize to him. Get it
yeah,
right.
That apology is blaming. Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, that's when an apology turns into something else. But poor guy. Basically, you didn't do your job explaining to Carla certain things, and we're certain places where, so you take the blame for that. Carla, yesterday we had a lot to discuss, right? Good episode with our sister Nikita Robinson, but I saw in one of my chat groups, one of my boys asked the question, what are you all giving up for Lent? And I mean, people like me, you shouldn't ask that question, but do you have anything you would give up for Lent?
Don't shout at me, but when does it start? Today?
I think yesterday, Ash Wednesday, or was it Tuesday? I don't know. I'm the heathen here. Like I'm gonna leave that to you. Don't put me in that position about knowing. I know it ends on Easter or Good Friday.
I'm right there in the corner with you.
Oh, okay. Help us out, folks. When does Lent begin and when does it end? And it's a Catholic thing. Well, yeah, Catholic.
No, it's Christian.
It is. It's a whole Christian thing.
We are so bad. I'm embarrassed. Where's Pastor Seaman?
Yeah, Ash Wednesday. Charles helped us out. It's Ash Wednesday. Because when I lived in New York, I would know this because you'd go around and see people getting the axe on their head and stuff. But I don't live in a big city anymore, so I don't see that kind of stuff. But
it's a cross, Jamal. At least know the lingo. It's not an axe. It's a cross. I know that much.
I mean, axe, cross. I mean, they both crossed. Yeah. So yeah, it is Catholic. It's Catholic. Yeah.
But I'm not Catholic. I thought, okay, well, I thought Christians, but maybe Christians observe it as well. But I was thinking that I was going to give up alcohol. So, no, I'm serious. But then if I knew it was started on Tuesday or yesterday, I bought a bottle of cider. So I have to drink it and then I'll start Lent. So I'll drink it right after the show. And then I'm going to try to go 38 days without alcohol.
Well, I'm not giving up anything. I just don't believe in quitting. You know, I mean, I move on, do things better or differently, but I don't think there's anything that I can think of. I mean, cussing. I mean, maybe I could give up cussing.
Do you really swear that much? To be honest, I mean, we talk a lot. I don't hear you swear that often.
Yeah, I have a fault. You've heard me once or twice driving. See, nobody's in the car to hear me, but unless on the phone with me. But I have a little potty mouth. See, what happens, right, is over the years, because a lot of what I do is done in public, I've had to adapt and change my vocabulary. So that doesn't necessarily mean add bigger words. You know, I can't really go beyond 5 letters per word, but it really means just finding replacement words for those cuss words. So I think I've done a pretty decent job, and yeah. So I think I'm gonna give up cussing. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to give up alcohol, and it helps with my I need to lose some weight. So real quick, I had a photo shoot, and my daughter ordered me some clothes. So what size are you? I was like, a UK 16, a UK 14, I said. And the clothes came and the skirt wouldn't zip and the shirt wouldn't over. So I'm like, okay, I need to lose some weight. So alcohol is high. Well, ciders are high in sugar. So I figured that would be a way of cutting down sugar and I can meet a weight goal at the same time.
Congratulations, all I'm gonna say on that. Charles wants a moment of prayer for us. I think that might be necessary for a person like Carla as well. Yeah, I agree. Dr. Pierman says we should give up to better our lives, not just for the moment. I definitely agree, Dr. Pierman. I agree. I've never been one to do things for short term, and that's why people say I go cold turkey and you just quit this or stop that and you haven't begun. I always aim to do it short term, but I challenge I have this ability to challenge myself, not even about other people, but I'm like, I can keep doing this. I don't have to do this. And so then it becomes the norm. That's how drinking happened. Like I didn't plan on not drinking this long. It was just like, okay, I'm gonna quit for a bit, due to some things. And I was just like, made excuses not to drink at first. Then it just became, I don't even like feeling drunk anymore. Let me just stop. So I agree. I mean, long-term benefits for us. Actually, here's my ginger and turmeric shot, right? I forgot. I was running a bit late this morning. I don't know. I've been getting slower with my runs. Like
that's a big shot. That's a shot.
No, so I usually do it in thirds. So I take the first and then the middle, and this is usually too big for the last, but I'm gonna take it all. But I make these, and pretty much it's ginger. Just to give you an idea, it's ginger, turmeric, and lemon in here. The reason I put a good bit of lemon in there, just kind of, it's a sour taste. It's not really good tasting, but it's good for us. And if anybody knows, ginger and turmeric are probably two of the most powerful things in terms of battling whatever you're up against. So I'm gonna take it while we're here, if you don't mind. Don't worry about my facial reaction.
Oh my God. I just can't with this man.
Can't hear you. It was that bad. My headphone came out. Oh, hold on. Ooh. Oh, wow. Yeah. Sorry about that.
He is killing me.
I'm back. Whew. But look, you know what they say. It's serious. It's serious. You've never had a turmeric, lemon, and ginger. And honestly, if you have a juicer, make it. But no, I'm actually not exaggerating, bro. I'm not exaggerating. If you've ever had turmeric, ginger, and lemon, and it's not just having it fresh, like this has been sitting, this is no exaggeration. There's no need for that. It's really that sour. And she makes a great point. Usually I do add honey. I heard my mother-in-law talking to someone yesterday. Add a little honey. Yes. No, Barbara. No. I'm not going to Kentucky on this. But I have my concoction. Remember when we first started this show, I spoke about my concoction that I leave in there in case I got a little cold or something. And it's been sitting for months now. The turmeric, ginger, garlic, onions, and honey. Yeah, that's the other one. So usually I take it if I'm feeling a bit different. And yeah. But enough about my ginger turmeric. You all having a good time. What are you laughing at? It is. Like honestly, people, that
it knocked his earphones out. It was powerful.
It is. And I tell people, the best thing is don't be like me. I mean, especially here's some key things. If you're doing this every day, do a straw because it is turmeric and your teeth would yellow. They would turn colors, right? If you're drinking this every day.
Wait, you slapped your head all the way back and didn't drink all that was in that bottle?
No. I just took a.
I thought you killed it all. Okay.
No. Save some for tomorrow. But go to some other comments. I take it often. Yes, Dr. Pierman takes it often. You would know that, so that my reaction was pretty normal. Tamarissa, that is definitely the exact reaction. Yes, try apple cider vinegar, cayenne, and water as a shot. Wowza. So I used to put cayenne in there, but honestly, my stomach couldn't take it, folks. Honest, that's just me, and I like spicy. but my stomach could not take the additional cayenne with it. But before I come on air, I do take the apple cider vinegar Goli vitamins, so I take 2 of those as well. Again, because the apple cider vinegar, as portrayed, is not good for the what is called the animal
enamel.
Yeah, that word. I can't pronounce all this stuff, but yes. See, we got people that do the stuff. That's good stuff, and add a red onion as well. It's all sorts of things. If it can knock your earphones out, imagine what it's doing to your inflammation. Good stuff. Nicole Walker says, I need a little honey and a slice of lemon in mine with the ACV and cayenne. Yeah, honestly, cayenne was just most people I know do add cayenne and honey. The honey is fine. I have, like I said, and it has to be raw honey, unfiltered. That's what I use. But it adds a little taste. But let's move on real quickly. I wanted to talk about, I don't know if everyone knows about Rush Limbaugh, the talk radio host in the United States. He was very controversial, conservative host for many years, and he passed away yesterday. And the reaction on social media, I'm being genuine. And we have our own situation locally a couple weeks ago, right, where we lost former Senator Laverne Furbert, and you had people with some not so kind things to say. And I understand that Rush Limbaugh was vile. I mean, he was vile. Like, if we went down a list of things, telling a black person to remove the bone out of their nose, like basically mocking Michael J. Fox. Like, I mean, the things he said about homosexuality and AIDS, like it just goes beyond. He was vile. He was vile. And there were people legit celebrating his death, but then there were the other side acting like, oh, he will be a miss. He was everything needed. Now, a lot of people don't know this, and I want to share this because Carla and I have had this conversation for years, right? Remember, Carla, how we used to discuss about like media should be balanced and so on? Like,
right.
Well, it was, I don't know if people know this, but from my understanding, it was actually Ronald Reagan, former president, the late Ronald Reagan, that actually created I don't want to say monsters, but created the people that are the Rush Limbaughs of the world, because it was he that pretty much changed, like with the FCC, the law or policy, that you don't need to have balance. You can speak from one side. You don't need to have both sides on your program. Now, as I say all the time, you know what we are on this show. I'm the equal opportunity offender. So you're going to get that balance from me. It probably won't be the good stuff you want to hear, but you're going to get that balance from us. But I guess the question to the audience, right? And feel free. I'm not going to go against anybody, because at the end of the day, you can feel how you feel. But is there really a time to celebrate someone's death? And yes, there are going to be evil people in this world. There are. But I'm going to tell you a lesson, and I'm going to say his name. My friend Larry Marshall Jr. said to me when we were in college, and he had come up to visit me. And something had happened. And it basically was the murder happened. And I made a comment like, man, some evilness no longer with us. And he pretty much said to me, look, man, you should never celebrate the death of a person, because you don't know, that person could have changed. They could have, over time realized their faults and, come back and save your life or your family's life. So, it's not our job to be judge and jury. And from that point on, I always looked at things like, you know what? It's not my job to do that. That person will deal with, have their own stuff to deal with. No, this is a different situation. And again, I'm not celebrating. That's just not me, but I can understand why people are. I totally, completely understand. But some of the stuff, and I mean, if you went on Twitter and you just saw Rush Limbaugh's name trending, it was heavy, man. It was heavy. And I think part of it is people don't feel he was apologetic. He was that way until death. Go ahead, Carla. Sorry.
Well, as you let everyone know on a daily, I'm old. I'm a child of the 70s. And I remember as a young girl in the 80s, his name I would have to say in my circles as such, synonymous with just being vile and anti-Black, anti-Democrat and all of that. But when I found he had died, and I read an article on Huffington Post, And I couldn't stop, as much as I wanted to throw my phone down, I couldn't stop reading because it just got worse and worse of how nasty he was. And I know you joke and say an equal opportunity offender. Well, he sure took that cake, because I don't think he left anyone who didn't think like him protected. He just went in, and I was like, how can someone spew so much disdain or rhetoric, and then someone turn around and find a celebration not in his death? Because I also feel people have families regardless of who they are, but how he won a medal. He was given a medal from President Trump. No surprises. But this man, I read what he said about gays or AIDS, and I was like, how could you say that? So he was just so disgusting to me. Reading that this morning just really turned my stomach. So how people can celebrate and align themselves with celebrating what he stood for, it just blows my mind. But I'm sure there are many, as we see on social media.
Yeah, indeed. And folks, if you want to see what we're talking about, I mean, we're not in a position to repeat any of the stuff, but you can go search the internet and see what Carla and I are referring to. It was vile. It was bad. And no one in the audience is sharing. And I said, I'm not going to keep comments. Oh, but what are your thoughts? Like, should we be celebrating the death of people that are vile like this? I mean, one of the comments I shared, I said I'm not sharing things anymore as well, but a guy on Twitter basically said, if you think I'm celebrating Rush Limbaugh's death, wait until Trump kicks the bucket, right? And what?
That's funny.
Anyway, people could not hold their laughter. And Twitter, I mean, look, Twitter is a brutal place. And people were like, look, this may be brutal, but so was he. So was his commentary. At the end of the day, you ask yourself, who's responsible? Is it the person who is spewing the rhetoric, or the people who eat it up, the people who act on it? I think it's a combination.
The other thing for me, Mal, is legacy, right? I know for me, I walk in, how do I want to be remembered? Do I want my children to be proud of who their mother was, right? And like everyone, you have some highs, you have some lows. But I also think that whether they care or not, some people don't think about legacy, because when he was saying all of that, because we're talking about him and specifically, but it applies across the board as far as I'm concerned, was he worrying about how he would be remembered or honored? So he kind of earned it, I don't believe in saying, yes, he's dead, but
what was the former governor and Dr. King was leading the civil rights movement, the former governor of Alabama, and Lyndon B. Johnson used to say, is this how you want to be remembered? These people don't care how they're remembered by people who don't like them. That's the truth. What they do, how we feel is not how, if you look at conservative commentators and so on, how they feel is very different. They believe this is a great loss to them, right? They don't feel that he was hateful. They felt like he spoke for a people who couldn't speak for themselves. They felt he was a voice for them. So to them, his legacy is intact, and they need someone to follow in his footsteps. So when we talk about legacy, it's all about perspective where you sit. I mean, if his got family, they probably think, he's the one that, done so much for this country that others didn't. I don't know. But again, they're not living to, not everyone's living to be remembered for something. They want to live to make a difference. And that difference may not be in favor of what everyone else believes is in the best interest. Dr. Seaman says, not mourning, but not celebrating. He lived a sad and hateful life. I pray he asks for forgiveness before he closed his eyes. And that's the other thing. I wonder, was there a period there? Teresa Terry K. Stewart, as a flawed individual, it's definitely not my place to celebrate the transition of someone I don't agree with. Only thing I can focus on is my personal legacy and what impact I want to have. All right. Well, Rush Limbaugh, famous talk radio host, controversial, big conservative. He is moving on. Carlene Spencer Darrell says, sounds like he was a perfect example of who and what not to be. All righty. Got to get to the news. Carla is going to give you a quick news break, and then we're going to come back yes, it was Governor George Wallace, Alabama. That was the one. He didn't care about his legacy. But in fairness, when he was paralyzed years later, he did, kind of change his tone and say he regrets some things. We're going to take a news break with Carla. Then we're going to be back with our guest for the day, my girl, Barb. Fashionista there. Can't wait. You know, Bob, you know, she's a good time. So, Carla, take it away and stick with us. Don't go nowhere.
Student numbers at the Bermuda College have more than doubled in the last 5 years, according to the Ministry of Education. And the ministry said the numbers are up in part because of wider access to government funding in the form of scholarships and grants. During a press conference, Diallo Weben, the Minister of Education, said enrollment at the college had gone from 726 students in 2016 to more than 1,700 this academic year. We are confident this results from the provision of the removal of financial barriers and the continued success of the Bermuda College to provide attractive avenues to higher learning. Since 2017, Mr. Weben said, this government has invested over $500,000 each year at the Bermuda College through tuition grants, scholarships, and awards for students. This government believes that finding funding to attend the college should not get in the way of any student pursuing and obtaining their academic goals. The misery for millions caused by unseasonably cold weather and widespread power outages in Texas is far from over, as freezing temperatures are forecasted again today. However, officials with the agency responsible for most of the state's power system said the outlook was improving and outages had dropped by at least 20% last night. The Electric Reliability Council of Texas, the target of much of the anger over the power collapse, said local utilities may be able to return to rotating outages instead of extended outages by this morning. We're at a point in the restoration where we're going to keep energizing circuits as fast as we safely can until we run out of available generation, ERCOT Senior Director of System Operations, Dad Woodfin, said in a statement last night. We hope to make significant progress overnight. However, relief still awaits many who have been stuck in freezing homes since Monday. February 18th is Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day. Eat Ice this day was created to commemorate the 9 wonderful years of the bright soul that was Malia Grace, born on February 18th, 2001, and she passed away after a long fight with cancer on December 7th, 2010. She was an inspiration to everyone, glowing with the kind of enthusiasm for life that childhood is made of. She embraced knowledge and learning with every day, getting outside wherever possible, and drinking in her short life with a passion that made every day an adventure. First celebrated by a group of close friends to commemorate her life and creativity, Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day went on to become a day to honor all of the children who have or are battling are battling with childhood cancer. It exploded onto the scene with thousands of people from all over the world taking part and spreading the message to thousands more. Turning to weather, the temperature in Bermuda is expected to reach a high of 72. Montego Bay in Jamaica will see a high of 83, and Nottingham, UK, a high of 47. Don't forget to tune into the full100radio.com tonight for Nighttime Jams, featuring some of your favorite romantic classics. That's your Daily Hour news break.
I got some peanut butter crunch non-dairy ice cream, and I've just been looking for an excuse to eat it.
Today's a good day.
So it's healthy. Don't worry about that. It's not going to take away the impact of my ginger and turmeric, folks. It's non-dairy and it's some good coconut stuff in there. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with our good friend Bob, and we're going to talk about some fashion. I'm quite the dresser myself, so maybe she'll have me model for her sometime.
The sexy black shirt.
Yeah, just a little black shirt. Stick with us. Don't go nowhere.
Good day, Medical House, Doris speaking. Can I help you?
Medical House is Bermuda's leading one-stop shop for healthcare.
Medical House is a great resource for Lefroy. The service is excellent.
Medical House is best known for its uniforms and footwear. It has hundreds of styles of scrubs and nurses' uniforms for health professionals. Bermuda's top doctors, dentists, care homes, and the hospital choose Medical House for a wide range of products. These same professional quality products are available to you for home health care.
The biggest reason to come see us is that we specialize in these areas and the education and knowledge that we provide.
Medical House is on Millreach Lane in Pembroke, where there's private parking right outside the door. Call or visit Medical House today.
Amy's Kitchen is an independent organic food producer, a family business who've been focusing on wholesome and flavorful foods for over 30 years. From their first pot pie right up to 1 million meals a day, and firmly believe in the importance of TLC throughout the entire journey to the final outcome. This month we're featuring Amy's Organic Soups, Black Bean Vegetable Minestrone, Quinoa Kale Red Lentil, Low-Fat Split Pea, and Vegetable Barley and more. All of them dairy, gluten, and lactose free. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. It's the Daily Hour. She's Carla Zul. I'm Jamal Hartman. This show is brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over there at Channel 82, where you can watch this and many other locally produced shows if you have One Communications cable. So make sure we talk about buying Bermuda, supporting Bermudians. Start with Channel 82 and our next guest, our sister Bob. Welcome to the show. You got us? Can you hear us?
I think so. Yes, yeah. I can hear you. Morning.
Morning.
Morning. What's happening? What is happening? Thank you for doing this. I know it's early, but we appreciate having you. Let's get right into it. Many knew you as a hairstylist, right? How did you transition into fashion?
Well, it's not a transition. I've always been into fashion. But what a lot of people don't realize, fashion was my overall passion. Anybody that knows me knows I always had the top of the line, something different. That was just me. But like I had stated in one of my posts a few weeks ago, I only didn't get into fashion because I was due to go to Savannah School of Art and Design in Georgia, but I was a teenage mother, so I had to push that. Well, I kind of gave it up and had my son, worked for a couple of years, and then I went home one day and was just like, Daddy, I want to do hair. And that's how I got into doing hair. And I did that for 22 years before I decided to walk away from it. So, but doing the carnival costumes kind of sparked my passion back open. Like once I did that, it was, no, I'm going to do this. I mean, mind you, other things I've done, like I've done bow ties. I make bow ties. What else do I make? A lot. But a lot of my ventures wasn't intentional. It was just someone asked me if I could do it and I did it. And then people asked me to do it for them. And that's just how I started making money doing certain things. But my purses that I just recently started to do was something that I sat down and I was like, what can I do that I could generate income, because of the fact that we're in a pandemic and I can't get back to work until April because I work at the airport. So it was finding an avenue of creating money to support my family. So, and I didn't expect it to blow up as it did, but.
Well, you mentioned the pandemic. The pandemic has obviously slowed some people down, but you've been working. Like you like, speak to us about the latest releases and your inspiration behind them, because as you said, like, I mean, I'm glad you said that. There's the pandemic. You were working at the airport. Things slowed down. You had time, and you responded in a manner that a lot of people.
Well,
go ahead.
Like initially, when we first shut down, because at the airport we was told the day before the airport was closing that we didn't have a job. Well, I won't say we didn't have a job. They were shutting down, and we wasn't getting paid. And I got into making masks. One, because it was a need for masks, but not intentionally. Again, my son was going to work periodically because he works for current vehicles, and he needed a mask, and because they was giving away cars to nurses and essential workers. So he went back to work maybe like 2 days a week, and I made him a mask, and he posted it, I posted it, and then from there, And because I'm that person that likes different, of course,
Mhm.
I started bringing in a different fabric and mix matching prints, but that's me. And that kind of blew up. And then once mass was easily accessible, I kind of backed away from it. I still have people that ask me to make them because
Mhm.
they have that different, unique look, but I'm not into it as much as I was in the beginning. But like I said, I only did it because it was a need. And I don't think it was anybody in St. George's making them. So it was just like my brothers pushing my business, my daddy pushing my business. So yeah. And then from the mass, um, I once that kind of dwindled out, I was like went back to work a little bit because the airport opened up and it was certain things that before the move we was moving stuff over, so I was able to get a little bit of income from that. And then the person, like, when I realized that I wasn't really going to be back to work until my flight starts back up, I sat him and I was like, what can I do? Like, I need to do something to make money. And I was just like, I was watching YouTube one day at work. Because I went back to the salon. I work back at the salon on Mondays, you know, for the clients that ask for me. And I was sitting there watching YouTube one day and I was like, I could do this. And I sat there the whole day because it was slow. And I told my coworker, I said, I'm going to figure this out. And I literally went home and like, I did it. And then I didn't really launch it until I perfected it. And then once I did that, like I said, I didn't expect it to blow up. And then with my sneakers, because I know that's what you really want me to talk about.
Well,
I had applied. I had applied for design. How could I put it? It's a manufacturer in Italy and manufacturing company in Italy that offers entrepreneurs, designers that are into fashion the opportunity to design a sneaker brand. They branch out to other things too, but you have to unlock each level. So your first level is a shoe. I did 10. And you have to get 7 pre-orders for one shoe in order for your brand to go worldwide. They manufacture Gucci, they manufacture Prada, Fendi, or a lot of the top brands. But I had to apply as a designer and get approved as a designer. I didn't just go on a website and say, oh, I want to make sneakers. That's not how it works. I applied, I got approved. And back then, I think the fee was like about $400 to start up. And being a single parent, I was like, okay, I can't do this right now. I just pushed it to the side. And I got an email in November because I was still a member, stating that they was giving members a special offer. And even still was like, I don't know if I could do this, but I just did it. And it just went from there. So I'm still hoping and praying that, you know, my brand gets to point where I can do, or I can have it worldwide, because it hasn't reached there yet. But, you know, I just go one every now and then and redesign another shoe. The more shoes I get to do, the more opportunity I have to get one shoe that gets that 7 pre-orders. So
check her brand out, folks. Like, honestly, if you didn't know it was a Bermudian, like, this is some special stuff. It's special. Yeah, Carly.
So how has support been within the Bermuda? I mean, I know you want to be global, but like everyone loves shoes. How has it been?
Well, everyone was excited. Like, I got numerous inboxes, DMs, stopped on the street. But the only thing is the shoes are expensive. So, but there are some people that understand, coming from Italy, you wouldn't get anything less than that. Like, one of these sneakers, well, mainly all these sneakers run between $250 and $280. But they're made in Italy and shipped straight from Italy. I have a women's slide. Well, it's actually a unisex slide that runs for like $140, but it's 100% leather. One of my friends had said to me, because I had apologized, I was like, well, I'm sorry, you know, I know it seems expensive, but because it's Italian, that's what you expect. One of my friends inboxed me and she was like, don't you apologize to people? You know, this is straight from Italy. They will go and buy Jordans for $250, which is true. But it's just because it's new, and I guess people's just like, I'm not spending all of that on a brand that's not a brand yet, you know? So
have to check it out.
But I've definitely got a lot of response from Bermudians, definitely. Like, my Instagram page went from because I started as my carnival page. It went from 150 followers to 590 within a week.
Awesome.
And that's not just from Bermuda.
So
I
let's
can't
talk
hear you.
about with the carnival, right? So in 2019, you and Kalita Cook Shillingford were winners of the 2019 Carnival Costume Design Challenge put on by Nova Mass International. Speak about that experience and how did it feel to be recognized for your work?
That was like, first of all, I didn't even know I won. I was driving. I mean, the experience with Kalita was awesome anyway. We formed a great friendship from doing the classes, and then the design challenge. We kind of collaborated with each other on a few things. And for the competition that night, a lot of people don't realize the night of the competition, well, the week of the competition, all of our stuff got made in all of our bodywear got made in Trinidad. I think the only person that really made their own was I can't get his name out. Anyway, but my stuff never made it back home, and I had to find another seamstress here. I had to get jams. My feathers I already had, they was done, and I literally had to recreate my costume within 4 days. The day of the competition, I was jamming up until I went to the competition, which I was even finishing in the back room. And I cried. I'm not going to lie. I was so upset. I was so upset because what I wanted didn't come. But Sal was like, you could do this. Just make it work. Just make it work. But I learned through that I knew how to work under pressure. And I kind of feel like he tested me to see if I could do that. That's how I kind of took it as that. And like I said, the few days later when they decided who the winners was, I didn't even realize I had won. Kalita called me. I was driving to go pick up my daughter. And she was like, well, congratulations. And I was like, for what? She says, you haven't seen the news? I said, no. So I pulled my car over. And I said, what? She's like, wow, you won, but we both won. I was like, oh, okay. And I was on my way to do a client tour, actually, to cut a client tour. And, it was exciting. And then the launch, leading up to the launch night, even with that, I drew up my design. And Sal, he didn't really give us a theme. He just told us to do, I can't remember what he said, but I know he didn't give us the theme of the carnival theme for the year. And he just told us draw up anything. And I drew up a few things. Some things he denied, some things he liked. And my crown that everybody loves, when it got here, when we went to his house to pick it up, I sat there and he took it out and I was like, that's not what I wanted, Sal. And he was like, what you mean? That's what you drew. I was like, that's not what I drew. And I sat there and Khalid was like, Bobby, you can make this work. You can make this work. I was like, I did like this. I hate it. And I sat there and I stared at it and he was like, look, I want to try and use that for the sneak peek. So go home and figure something out. So I went home that night and I sat in my room because my desk was in my room. And I sat there and I pulled out my jams and my glue gun and I just started jamming. And I finished it that night and I sent him a video and he was like, Bobby, that is beautiful. And once I put it on my head, I put it on my daughter's head, I put it on a mannequin head, and I was like, okay, I could make it work. But the first thing is never my finished product, so I still added more jams to it. And then once he surprised me with the flyer, because I didn't know that it was actually going on the sneak peek flyer to promote the launch. And when he posted it, I was like, oh my god. So I'm very much I'm very finicky, I'm very picky, and yeah.
That's the creative in you. But you you mentioned about launch, and if normal, whatever that is anymore, under normal circumstances, you would have just had been a part of launch for 2021. Have you started to design for 2022, or with things being virtual, have you had the opportunity to design and showcase for this year or even for last year?
Well, what the plan was, because Carnival didn't happen last year and people paid for costumes literally the night of launch. Like I know for my own ones, a few people paid up front for my front line, and they decided that they would use, if we have Carnival this year, which I'm crossing my fingers that we really do. They would use the costumes that everybody, and all the bands have decided that they're going to use the costumes that they launched last year for this year. Because once production had started, it's really hard to say, I guess I'm assuming, to refund people whatever they've paid. And no telling that if I did design something else that they would like what I designed. So yeah, my feelings was hurt. I was so hurt when they canceled Carnival.
So many were.
I was like my first design to make it to the road, and we're not having it. Like, I was so hurt.
She sounds
But
like Jackie, right?
such is life.
Carnival lovers. So I read
And
in
I've
an
been a
article.
soca lover since I was small.
That's interesting again, because so many of us growing up didn't like soca, and soca only became like a thing for many people in the last few years. I never liked it.
I mean, Carla,
I never liked it.
people used to be down Tiger Bay every summer after Connie game like it was a norm. I had honestly never come across people in my life who didn't like soca until like the last decade.
Me neither, Jamal. Me neither.
I never liked it until maybe 6 years ago.
And then I don't know if it's because I'm a cop match baby, so it's just like it's all combined for me.
Bob,
it was Connie game.
Bob, let me help you make sense of it all.
I know where it's going.
To a person who ain't never been to a Coney game in their life, so you can't expect her.
You ain't never been to a Connie game.
Listen, don't judge me, okay? I'm heading up. Don't judge me.
I'm just saying you can't.
That doesn't even sound right.
Never.
I'm saying.
I've never.
So
when I come home again, I'm had like 10 people to say, listen, the first place you're going is to let me pronounce it right, a Connie game.
Connie game,
not a county game, a Connie game.
There you go.
But Bobby,
Unreal.
I was reading. I'm so embarrassed.
Unreal.
I was reading an article where you were saying that you had even received accolades from Trinidadian designers, and that's huge. Like, that's such a compliment to you.
Yeah.
How Bermuda's only but so small, and you have this whole carnival world that exists all over. How do you plan to become international?
Networking. That's and I steady do that. Like TikTok, I'm making use of that. But because I put all of my stuff on my TikTok page. But I have a few friends that are in the carnival scene. Like my friend Judy, she actually is one of the organizers for Uber Soca cruise. So I definitely, and I made her a soca junkie. Let's get that clear. I took her to the first carnival we had in Bermuda, because she was one of those, grew up in the States, was into rap and R&B, and I took her to the first carnival, and since then she's just like blew up. She's this big soca junkie. But yeah, I definitely use her to network. I wouldn't say I use her because she promotes me anyway. I have other friends from Jamaica. I have friends in Trinidad. People I used to work with at Red Doors. She's actually from there, so she has a few people that she's kind of connected me to try and get my name out there. But I think with when my costume launched, because they did all the photo shoots in Trinidad, and the models were posting my costume on their page, and obviously nobody knew what costumes it was. And when I was reposting, I had to post it in black and white so that people couldn't see what it was. But to listen to them on their lives or on the post and raving my costume as the modeling it was like, okay, like if I get the approval, to me, if I get the approval, then I'm made it. And the photographer, when he came to Bermuda for the launch, I introduced myself to him as one of the designers, and he asked me which costume was mine. And he said that was definitely one of my favorites to shoot. And honest to God, I was just like, yes, like if I got them to notice me, then
Awesome.
Talk to me
Yeah.
about, I mean, there are so many talented Bermudians right now, a lot of people trying to do so many different things and grow themselves and their brands beyond Bermuda. But people get discouraged so easily. What's keeping you going right now?
Well, my main motivation is always my children. The one thing that I've always wanted to do is earn a business. That's my biggest passion. And to me, the only way or to make it happen is, well, my mom's always taught me. My mom's a big entrepreneur, creative person too. My mom actually used to sew the Majorette costumes back when they was Majorette costumes for St. George's Majorettes, when it was competitions back then, and she won every year. But my mom always taught me to use what I have to make or generate income if I can. So I'll give an example of my mom. My mom is known for cooking, and she worked at the bank my whole life. She's been retired maybe 5-6 years now, but she worked, and the way she supported me and my siblings for college or whatever we wanted to do is my mama catered weddings. My mama makes sandwiches for baby shower. Like she just caters food. So, and she always said, if you have a talent and people's willing to pay for it, then why not?
Indeed.
So that's my motivation. Is I have. Go ahead.
No, we have some people that were asking, where can we buy your shoes? And not just your shoes, but learn more about your different designs. It looks like Teresa Stewart shared your website, aliveshoes.com/ is it Seva? You said?
Well, it's Seva. It's a combination of a letter out of each of my children's name. But the website isn't official. I have to send the links for these shoes because it still hasn't been launched because they haven't gotten the 7 pre-orders that they want. So once that's done, then I would have an official website on their page. But if anybody's looking to purchase any of these shoes, they can go to my Instagram page. It's the Seva Collection, but it's _Seva Collection. And people just DM me or on Facebook, and I can send the link to them, and it takes it directly to the shoe that they want.
So I have to ask, do you know how many shoes you're off from 7? Like, do you need one more pair, or do they give you an update?
Yeah, they email me when someone has purchased a shoe. I don't know who it is. I just got an email to say that one of your shoes has been. It tells me which shoe it is. And I have 8 people have ordered shoes, but not one shoe. So I have one shoe that has 3 orders, one shoe that has 2 orders, one shoe that has 1 order, one shoe. So it's a sporadic amount of orders. But not one hasn't gotten the complete 7 to unlock the whole website. And I've asked them, I have emailed them, I talked to them, and I'm just like, well, I have people that are interested, but obviously it's the different variety of the shoes. And I think they have taken off the timer of the ones that people have ordered, because I had 30 days in order to get the 7 pre-orders, and which would be up in about a week. And the ones that I see that have a few orders, they've taken the timer off of it, so they may just leave it and allow people to order past the 30 days. So yeah.
Honestly, it's been great having you, and definitely appreciate your drive and motivation. My hope is, we had artist Dwayne Jones here earlier this week, and we've had some other people. And one of the things I like is everyone is so dedicated to their craft, like really focused and committed to what they're trying to produce. And I think right now we want to see you all grow beyond the environment, grow beyond Bermuda, but it's up to Bermudians truly to get behind our own and really support you. So my hope is that people will get behind you, support you. I love to see your success when it comes to like the carnival stuff. I love to see it. We're going to be sharing some of those when we share some video of you tomorrow up on our social media channels as well. And I hope that Carnival does come back, because we want to see some more of your fancy costumes. And no, folks, not just the pretty ladies.
So do I.
I'm just saying. We appreciate all facets of Carnival now, the music as well. But Barb, thank you for coming by.
I want to do a male costume too. I just didn't get to do that.
Listen, in my mind, I was like, tell me when you're gonna design the male thong. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna say it. But since you said it.
Of course you will, Carla. But tell everyone how they can get in touch with you. You mentioned Instagram, Facebook. How can people get in touch with you if they not only want to purchase your stuff, but they have ideas and want you to design for them?
Well, Instagram's the fastest way to get a hold of me. I get those messages instantly. And my email address is thesailorcollection@gmail.com.
All righty. Barbie Paynter, thank you so much for doing this with us. And, you have some supporters in us. If there's any time you need us to give a shout out or let people know what's going on with your brands and what you're doing, just hit us up. You have my information, and we have yours.
Thank you very much, Mal. And let's just hope Cop Match happens this year. How about that?
Yes, look, let's make it happen. This is my camp partner. So, our Cop Match is our time. All right,
that's Christmas in this house.
Exactly. Talk soon, Bob. Thanks again.
Have a good day.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Yeah, that's my girl there. That's Cop Match right there. What?
Stop throwing that Connie game boss on my neck, young man. Thank you.
No, I was trying to help you. I was trying to help you there, Carla. I was trying to help you because, when someone says they didn't like, so especially someone of your age didn't like soca, I'm like, well, weren't everybody at Byron Lee? And then I remember, well, not really, because most people would go Byron Lee after Connie game and whatever. So I was helping you out, I thought.
And then I got a WhatsApp, and I'm not gonna call her name. She's like, I told you, as soon as you come, you have to go to a Connie game. So I'm like, yes, I know.
You know what, Carla? It's okay, because we saw some other pitiful people in the audience.
Danica, I'm taking you with me. Okay, we're gonna do this whole thing together.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, here's what it is. So Eastern Connies is known as Connie game. Nobody really cares about Central or Western like that. It just has never been that big. But if it makes anyone feel better, I've never been to a Western Connie cricket game.
Now, I've been to one of those. I went to one. So no point, but I went to one.
Yeah, exactly. Pointless. Yeah, all the West people about to shout at me right now, but no point. We have some comments about Bob here. Teresa Stewart says, listen, I'm ready to wear my costume by Bobby Ronis. Well, look, did you know she's a GIF? That's what it's called, a GIF, right?
Who?
Terry. She was in a Burmemes GIF carnival.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You didn't know apparently either. It was great. Thanks again to Burmemes. Joanne Smith, the shoes look awesome. Congratulations. Absolutely. Eastern is the best. Terry says, I was at Byron Lee seriously, you had children running around. Byron Lee was a family affair. I mean,
I've been to Byron Lee, though, to be fair. I have been to a few Byron Lee. I did a review on one years ago. Oh my gosh. It blew up the internet. They hated me for it. It was horrible. The show was horrible. Because when he stopped performing, remember, he stopped performing and people would come in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that lady wanted to kill me. But anyway.
Oh, we're glad that you're still here. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We have the Daily Play. If you enjoyed that conversation with Sister Bob this morning, another talented Bermudian, please give us a thumbs up, a like, let people know. Make sure you share the link so more people can know who she is, what she does, what her brands are, and how they can support her. We have to get behind our people. So take this quick break. We'll be back with the Daily Play. It's a Name That Place today. So make sure you are here to help your sister, Carla, with the answer.
Bermuda, do you know the difference between internet and Wi-Fi? Don't worry, neither did I. Let me break it down to you. Internet is delivered to your modem, which then has to push the Wi-Fi signal into the rest of your home. Do you find that the further you're away from your modem, the weaker your Wi-Fi signal gets? That's because Bermuda's homes are built hurricane tough. It's really difficult for that Wi-Fi signal to reach every room. But you're in luck. Our One Home Wi-Fi solution guarantees Wi-Fi coverage in and around your home with the help of our Eero devices. Plug in the Eero around your home and it will create a mesh Wi-Fi network in every room. Check us out at One today to sign up and make sure you can stream, work, and play from every corner of your home.
All right, welcome back to the big show. It's the Daily Hour. Thanks again to One Communications medical host Linda. She's Carla Zul. I'm Jamal Hartman. Let me just say this. Sonia Clark says, what Weston was the best? Anybody who believes Weston County has any comparison to Eastern County, I've got a shot for you.
It was so boring. It was just so boring. Like I've seen videos of Easton's, but Weston was boring.
Weston County, Eastern County is like another cup match. Like there are people that would argue that Eastern County is probably a one-day cup match in many respects. It's 3 cup matches in one summer. There's nothing that can compare to Eastern County outside of cup match. Cup match is it, and then there's Eastern County. Western County, Central Counties don't have the atmosphere, never had the atmosphere to even compare and compete with Eastern Counties. It was like a holiday that was never, right? Carla, but what are your thoughts on today's show?
I didn't know that Bobby had the Saval collection. I actually took a sneak on Insta and saw some sneakers that I would like to get. Support. I mean, let's get these 8 pairs or 7 pairs, but let's support her. So
indeed. No, she's I love to see it. And I just like how she spoke about her transition. Like, she's a stylist. Stylists don't need to be stuck on hair, right? It's not even much of a transition when you have the talent. So I'd love to see her make it. Like we want to.
And how the pandemic made her shift.
Yeah.
You have a choice. You could sit up and wallow or you could do something. So when she said about the children, I felt that one. So kudos to her. And I would like to have one of her purses as well.
Go ahead.
So I can take it to the Connie game.
There you go. People be like, yeah, there she is. She's Bermudian now. Here's the daily play. Help her out, folks. She needs your help. It's known as the Heart of Dixie.
Oh, Tennessee.
In the year 2000, it was the last state to legalize interracial marriage.
Oh, Mississippi then. No? Tennessee, Mississippi.
One more.
Dixie. They went skewing the South. It's not Georgia. It's Texas? Nah, it's not Texas.
Went all around it, Carla.
I don't know demographics. I was going to say Alabama too,
Alabama actually was the last state to pretty much allow interracial marriage. And what's crazy about that, I had moved to Alabama in 2001, folks. Went to school in Alabama and only a year removed. Now, Loving versus Virginia was 1960 something, if I'm not mistaken. That's how far behind Alabama was with interracial marriage. We're not talking about the 90s. We're talking about 2000. But the answer to today's daily play is the state of Alabama. Any inspiration for us, Carla?
The starting point of all achievement is desire. Napoleon Hill.
Nice. All right. Before we head out, any final words you want to say to the audience?
No, well, I always say no, but yeah, support Barbie, guys. I mean, Bermuda's just so full of talent that we sleep on. I'm not into carnival like that, but her stuff is beautiful. So find some way to support. Buy a purse, buy a mask, something. Like, let's support each other more.
And folks, audience, I'm going to ask you to help me. Let's get Carla in one of Barb's costumes by next year at Carnival. All right. On that note,
Did
thanks
you not
again.
hear me say the fat story in the beginning?
I said to the audience, let's help get Carla in one of those costumes by next year. Thanks again to our partners, Medical Health, One Communications, and Linda's for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this in with you tomorrow. She's Carla Zool. I'm Jamal Hartman. My friends, make it a great day.